If all the joints look like that, no problem, but all the joints don't look like that. Let's see if they hit the plumbing. You want to know what electrical inspectors look for on roofs? We are no longer on city hours, and this is not a city job, so I can film. And number one right there, we got screws inside of the boxes. This is a violation. You cannot do this. This is kind of a third-party courtesy inspection for somebody. So I'll bring it to their attention, and if they want to fix it, they can do that, but this would fail as far as I'm concerned. Looks like they're going to have it everywhere, so that's going to be a huge problem. We also want to make sure that they but pigtail the grounds together. That's a big deal. Now's the time to see it. On the rough inspection, you want to make sure all your grounds are attached together. So we only need one receptacle in the front of the house, and we need a light to illuminate the keyhole. These are going to be the pop-in style. I usually like to see connectors on these to at least show they're going to have a connector, or the driver actually installed and the little whip hanging that plugs into the light itself. If you ask me if that's going to be a sconce, by the time that you get your wall plate or your escutcheon on there, you're probably going to be running into this. Doesn't look like the best placement, but this can always be cut out a little bit. I would have moved it over here if it was me. We're about to go inside. Just going to check out the front. Sometimes these boxes are metal and we want them to be bonded, which would be that green screw. We got more screws in the side of the box, and I can show you in the code book where you can't do that on another video. Looks like we got some plugs all around. Got some soffit plugs. Everything looks pretty good as far as the box is being installed, except for the screws there. Let's see what they're doing for temporary here. I'm just curious. Looks like we got a WR, GFCI, WR, GFCI. Panel itself, no 240 volt GFCI protection. So code requires 240 volt GFCI protection for temporary. Let's keep it moving inside here. Not sure. Ha! Crap. We might need to go grab our... Yeah. It's going to be 100 twists on that. And we're in. Okay, we need a receptacle within 6 feet of the doorway, any wall space 2 feet or more, and that's going to be a trend all the way around here. So this looks like the fridge, receptacle behind the fridge. Looks like we got some light switches here. That is a terrible makeup job. Man, that's terrible. Let's get a better look with the flashlight. Holy moly. Look at all those grounds. It's a pretty messy box. Let's look at one of their joints. What do their joints look like? Got the Home Depot special for the wire nut brand here. Oh my god, that looks terrible. Not good joints, guys. Joints going all the way around. I can't really inspect based on the joint, but I can tell you right now, that is not something that I would ever recommend anybody leave. It's pretty bad. Looks like maybe one of those tools that winds the wire nuts for you. Better off making your own joints, boys. What the fuck is that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Looks like trash. 1, 2, 3, 4 Romexes into one hole. Oh man. No more than 2 per stud, basically. Some people allow 3. I'm one that allows 3. This looks crazy. And then we want to get a picture of this wire nut here. And I'm making a bunch of shorts. This is the long form first impression walkthrough. We've got the refrigerator. We've got another plug there, maybe a little mini fridge or something. Window, pantry, light switch. Looks okay. Gonna have a light up there, no connector. Should be okay. Countertop, so receptacles got to start within 24 inches of the countertop. Any countertop 12 inches or wider gets a receptacle. Within 2 feet, we started the plug. A lot of times, countertop might wrap around this way, and we would definitely need another plug here because your appliance cords are only 2 foot long typically, right? Maybe 3 feet at the most. So your plug spacing is 4 feet no matter what. This is something really important that all inspectors must call, because if you don't have a receptacle close enough to the corner and you don't have one here, they're never going to be able to get that blender or whatever plugged in and stored away in the corner of their counter. So do your diligence and make sure that you are definitely, your 4 foot spacing are well within the 2 feet. If not, you're really not doing the homeowner a service. 4 foot spacing there. Breaks up the countertop, we start our 4 foot spacing again. So this is going to start our 2 feet. So when you break up your countertop, you got to start within 2 feet. And then 2 feet again. This looks okay. Plug's a little bit close to this, but it's going to be centered here with the pot fill. That's a pot filler, by the way. Pretty nice touch there. And then we got 4 feet. 4 feet. Grounds, how are they made up? Looks like they're made up together. Looks okay. Boxes look like hell again. Joints hanging out. I kind of want to see what this joint looks like. Look at that, dude. I can't even move the freaking... All chewed to hell. All chewed to hell. You know they put a tool on it. That's what they're doing. They're not pre-twisting. It's fine if you guys want to use the tools, man, but you got to have the experience to use the tools. You can't just be using the tools without experience. Know what you're looking for. That's insane. Looks like my freaking cat got a hold of it. That's okay. Okay. Nice strapping. Got too many Romexes going through. Got a junction box up there. Amateur mistake, dude. Don't be doing junction boxes on brand new construction. What the hell is that? You're better off leaving your junction box accessible in the garage. Why they ran this in is beyond me, man. They should have just popped the little 90, put the plug accessible. This is a garage anyway. Nobody wants a damn junction box up in their attic. We're going to stay in this room and then we'll branch off to the other rooms. We need a plug within 6 feet. We enter this room here. We need a plug within 6 feet. We have plugs within 6 feet here. We need plugs within 6 feet here. Moving around 6 and then 12. So 6 and 12. That's the name of the game there. Looks pretty good. If we walk it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely good there. Got another plug there that looks good. That's the outside box. Now I'm starting to see a trend here, and now this is more terrible from the inside of the house. If you recall, the first thing that we saw was the boxes that were, the screws are coming through. Now we know what they're doing. That's terrible, man. That is going through the side of the plywood, not even hitting any meat in here. Have to bring that up to their attention. Okay, we need a receptacle within 6 feet. So same rule applies here, coming from outside, walking in, need a receptacle within 6 feet of this door. Is this a receptacle? Maybe, but probably not. We could accept it. Possible. We got a fan, we got a switch. The joints are freaking horrid. Look at that, not even in the wire nut. Wow. And you got too many wires per hole in the stud or rafter. Is that even a fan rated box? At least that is a fan rated box. Did they bond it? Hard to say, would have to zoom in. Looks acceptable. Acceptable. Missing a plug there, that's a huge violation. If you don't have plugs, oh, there it is, look at that, found it. Is it within 6 feet? It's pretty far. And of course I bumped the button on my light. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, good, got the plug. So far nitpicky stuff. This is definitely a code. You can't put more than 2 Romexes, 3 max, 4 is pushing it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 12s in a 3 gang. Okay. Using the nails, that's good. Keep coming around. This looks good. Plug spacing is fine. Again, in the front, I got the screws protruding through the side. Not impressed with that. Now, bedrooms, right? This is the hallway. Got to have a plug in a hallway 10 feet or more. So we do have that. No point in measuring it. Plug for the hallways right here. This is the hallway to the bedroom, so we need smoke detectors. That red wire is a good indication. 12.3. Going to have a smoke detector, a 14.3, whatever that is. Smoke detector interconnected. There's your other smoke detector there. So we have smoke detectors. We got our hallway receptacle. We got our lighting. Looking pretty good. Let's keep it moving. Let's start this way. We'll go back around. Need a receptacle within 6 feet of entering this door. So we are missing a receptacle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should have had a receptacle right there, and we don't. They put it there. Realistically, are you going to put anything here because this is an entry? Are you going to need to have an appliance here? That's not for us to determine. The code says you got to have a receptacle here. So they are definitely missing a plug within 6 feet when you enter this room. Also a fail. Those screws are just continuing to be a problem because you're going to see where they're not actually doing anything. They're using them more like a retention. I wouldn't accept that. Moving on, 12, so 6 and then 12 and then 12 and then 12. Coming back around, yes, it does matter for the closet. Not really a room, but the idea is that you want to be able to put a lamp with a 6-foot cord anywhere in your room. So if you're more than 6 feet away from a receptacle, it's a no-go. This looks okay though. Closet light, based on this is going to have to be a recessed can. No way about it. Your shelf measures off the wall, come off the wall, wherever your shelf ends, and that's where your measurement starts, 6 or 12 inches. Usually we just have contractors put the light right there in the cripple studs. That's the guaranteed satisfaction. That's dangerous for final. You could have to move that light for final. Looks okay though. Borderline too many Romexes, and we're looking for nail guards. So if we've got bored holes, this is coming this way, we're going to be at least 1.25 inches away from the stud edge. So that hole would have to be right here when you're talking about drilling. So we're going to be 1.25 inches away. They'd have to drill in the direct center of every stud perfectly to not have to put nail plates like that right there. That's probably a violation. Needs a nail guard. Go to light directly above the bath. It's probably going to be one of those recessed things going on. It's probably okay. I like to see connectors like I mentioned before. And then we got number 12 for the plug. This looks like it could be a problem. It's probably not, but basically this receptacle must be all by itself. So I don't know why it's in this box, because it is. It's right there. So we follow this, came straight down and in here. Probably made a junction and didn't go anywhere else. And then it went in here. It probably made a junction and didn't go anywhere else. But I don't know. This receptacle is not allowed to be with anything else other than the bathroom. I don't know why it's in this box. Also, all the blacks are tied together. You got a switch leg. You got a switch leg. You got some constant hots coming off for some devices. This looks like a problem because you got your lights and your plug tied together here. If I had 2 red wire nuts and some individual blacks, I would say, okay, yeah, they made a joint in this box and sent it off. See the hot here? You can't use the constant hot for your lights as your constant hot for your plugs in a bathroom. This plug basically has to be separate, and it's not right now. That's a huge problem. Huge. Hair dryers, 2,000 watts, 1,600 watts. It's pulling more than the... I don't need to go on for this. We're talking about appliances. We're talking about hair dryers. This is supposed to be a separate 20 amp branch circuit. That's not good. This is a huge fail. I would have said, you know, to my buddy, you know, if you can live with 4 Romexes up there and your boxes being a little bit loose, that's on you. I would seek clarification on this at this point. And then while we're at it, I would probably ask about the joint. See, that joint's not bad. That's not a bad joint. If all the joints look like that, no problem. But all the joints don't look like that. Okay. Plug there. Within 6 feet. This is more than 6 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are barely there. Plug outside. Again, installed. Terrible. 1, 2, 3. Can't get, if you want a dresser in this corner, you want to have a little lamp or a TV in the corner or something, you guys can forget about it because the plug is too damn far away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And keep in mind that's the whole length of the cord. So you still gotta be able to droop the cord down and then plug it in. It's not gonna happen. Can't be more than 6. So whatever measurement it is, keep in mind we're using our boots, but I could get my laser tape measure out if I wanted to. I'm just going to let them know, if you're building a house and you're paying for it and it's custom like this, you need to tell your builder you want more plugs. It's that simple. Let me get my tape measure and verify some of this stuff, but you guys know what we're looking for now. Plug there, good. Surprised to see a plug there. Required. Wall space 2 feet or more, required. Not impressed with the craftsmanship on the plugs at all. And all this extra hanging in there, you try to cram a device in there, you're not going to have a good time. They got way too much going on. I would require a receptacle to be facing the living space. This is the living space here. Receptacle should face the living space. Did they even bond the metal box? And how many circuits do they have in here? They did bond the metal box. They got a blue, a red, and a black. So they got 3 circuits, 3 individual neutrals. They got 3 circuits out here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now is the time for the future receptacle for the kitchen island, or the junction box, or if you want to install your boxes on the island, whatever code cycle you're in. Now's the time to do that. Once they put the walls on, it's hard to get back into the wall. So now is the time to put the plugs for the island. This would also fail based on not having a separate junction box for the future provision for the island. Or if we're in the 2020 or the 2017 code, not providing the receptacles right now and wiring them and roughing them in. I would want a receptacle facing the living space if it was mine. You kind of got this threshold here. This is almost like a room divider. So you could say, no, Mr. Inspector, this is our kitchen based on this room divider. We haven't left the kitchen, piss off. And I would say, I got to agree with you, but my best interest is the homeowner, because we're trying to protect the homeowner. And I have a feeling somebody might want a receptacle there. Now, if they're going to put cabinets on the face of this, whole different conversation. No plugs required. But facing the living space, plugs required. If this was even further this way and it backed up right to the living space, and this was our wall, our individual threshold line, all day required receptacle for the living space. Here, gray area, open to interpretation. You still call it for the best interest and then get answers later. Hallway here, 10 feet or more, receptacle, good. Light, cool. Smoke detector, because we have a what? Bedroom right there. Smoke detector, bedroom, fan rated box. Did they bond it? Doesn't look like it. Yep, I see a green screw right there. Green screw is right there. Okay. Box within 6 feet. 12, 12. This is probably going to be like where the bed goes, maybe. This is where the bed goes, sorry. Nightstand, nightstand, plug, plug, plug. Got some extra plugs there. That's smart. That's extra too. So they're asking for extra plugs. That's good. You should always be asking for extra plugs. They're cheap to install now. Looks okay. Plug there, room's good. Single sink here, need a plug. Now, does the plug go in here? Is this going to be one of the receptacles? And then you got a switch, and then you got an exhaust fan, and then you got another switch? Maybe. Or they forgot it. Either one is very believable. All the hots are tied together though. Huge problem. We got labels, shower, fan, vanity. We don't have a plug. They're missing a plug in the bathroom. Vanity light here. Did they bond the box? No, because people are unreliable. Unreliable electricians never bond boxes. And actually, let's see if they hit the plumbing. Doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it. Best interest to wrap this, get it off the metal. Water's flowing through this, so it's going to move. Looks like it came out of the strap at some point. Good to address it. Yeah, now I'm calling it. No receptacle for the other sink. Got to install a receptacle. Got to be a separate circuit. Didn't bond the box. That alone will fail you. You don't bond one box. Oh, wait. They bonded this box. Perfect. So, Mr. Inspector, why are you failing people on one ground screw? Where do you stop? Where do you start? When I first started doing electrical inspections, I did that, dude. I was like, hey, it's one bonding screw. What can it hurt? Right? So you pass it. You go to the next house, they forgot a bonding screw too. Am I going to fail and be a hypocrite and pass one guy and fail? No, they're both going to pass. Well, the next thing you know, you go through a week and freaking none of the new houses have bonding screws, man. You don't give them any slack. You got to install the bonding screws. It's a moral thing. You got to get over yourself. You're not these guys' friends. And in general, people are unreliable. Look, everywhere else, all the metal boxes, bonded. You go to this one, no bonding screw. You got to look everywhere. Just because someone's doing good in one spot, people forget things. They get stressed out. They get, sorry, got distracted. They get busy and they forget to do things they intended on doing. This is a really common issue here, this pinch point here, where we've got, see where we got these decking up here. So we got 2x8s or 6s suspending this up so we can go under with the wiring. We got to be really careful that the electricians don't pinch the wire or other trades after the electricians run. Make sure they don't pinch the wiring with the decking. Really, really common issue. So when we're looking, we gotta look for pinched wire like a hawk. If not, over time, people will be stepping on the attic decking and doing damage to the wire. Now, what a lot of electricians don't do is they forget to install and bond and do the proper connector on these exhaust fans. Look like this one's actually okay. This is the laundry room. Got the receptacle there. Got the light. I'm just curious. I just gotta know. We just gotta know. It looks okay. It looks okay. Too many wires. Too many wires. Let's walk out here. This is the garage. Now, it's one plug per vehicle space. Now, one plug is actually a receptacle. One receptacle would be one single receptacle. We look at a duplex receptacle, which has two. That's two single receptacles. We can have one in the middle, or we can have one for each vehicle space. So all I need is a receptacle on the left side and a receptacle on the right side of the garage. And we already have that. Yes, we have that there. And we have that there. So receptacles look good. So we're going to look in the panel real quick. Always good when bushings fly out. No connector there. That's dumb. No connectors. No connectors. They got them. They just don't have them installed. Really, really short wire. Look at that. We want the grounds and neutrals isolated inside this panel. So, yep. See, they install the bonding screw. They install the bonding screw every time. Half in, half out, dude. That just tells me you don't know what you're doing. Leave the damn thing out on sub panels. I'm going to pull it out myself to make sure it doesn't accidentally get pulled in. Or a handyman come years later and say, oh, I forgot to install this, and then create a parallel path. Got a video on that. Do not install bonding screws in sub panels. This is not the main panel. What size cable is this though, man? It looks tiny for a new house. With all these circuits here, this cable is tiny. The writing is up there. This is not how you support your cable. We need nail guards on that plate right there too, for sure. I happened to see this. This was nicked. Just caught my eye. Looks okay. And without a ladder, we're not going to know. But we're going to have to request some information to know what size cable that is. It needs to be at least 2-aught. Copper. Okay, so that's our neutral. Isolate grounds. Oh yeah, no, they don't have the right connector. They don't have the right connector. There's no compression holding this thing. It just goes up and down if it wants to. Wrong connector. No SCR connector. It looks like it might be for the HVAC. It is. Means we're gonna have a receptacle outside, 25 feet for the HVAC. Let's go check that out. There's the UFER. Got the UFER in there. Disconnect. Where's it going? Oh, there's the, okay, good. There's the SCR. Maybe we can see it. Oh, we need some tools anyway. Okay, so we got some ground rods. Doesn't look like they cheated. That's amazing. They cheated this one. No, that's legit. Big old AC. Gotta look at the nameplate, 40. 50, 40, 50. Connector. I'll actually put a connector on it. You just strap this to the wall. This is the worst way to do this, man. Run it down to the line set, tie wrap it to the line set, and run it back up. Cable, tie, whatever strap, you know. Run it over here and then whip it up. This looks like crap. Weatherhead looks okay. It also looks acceptable. I bet you there's no bonding bushing in there. I know we had a plug on the back porch because we could see it coming out, so we needed a receptacle on the back patio. Got the lighting. Did not bond the box. I can see it there. I don't usually go in the attic, but we're by ourselves. No one really knows that I'm here. I'm not going to climb this ladder. That's just being smart. All right, so how much you guys want to bet? There's no freaking bonding bush. Yeah, no bonding bushing. No bonding bushing on the service nipple. 250.192, I believe. And this cable looks small, man. It looks like small cable for 200 amps. Maybe it's not. We'll have to look. But it looks pretty damn tiny. So we got the grounds and neutrals bonded together there. We've got the UFER and the equipment ground bonded together there. I would require a jumper, but seems kind of nitpicky. Looks like they did a nut and a bolt. Hopefully they scratched the paint. I wonder if it's loose. You guys think it's loose? It's probably loose. Oh, it's actually tight. Got ground rods here. Is it tight? It's tight enough. Is that tight? Yeah. They definitely got everything tight for this job. That's good. Meter looks good. Got rigid. Got all four. It's more of a sleeve, not really a connector, but they should foam the space there. Yeah, I think it's okay. Got the emergency service disconnect sticker there. And yeah, so they got to bond the bushing, which is inevitably, they're going to mess this up because what's going to happen is they're not going to have enough spaces to land all the wires to the jumper and all that stuff, and they're going to do some ghetto crap to make it happen. And we're just going to have to request pictures because this is for a buddy, and then I can tell him what he needs to see, and he can say whether or not he wants to accept it. But this is a pretty hard fail on this one. We did not do a good job throughout. We did a fair job, but not a good job. Because a good job would have been at least having connectors and a real connector up there, among other things. They also need to provide a box here for accessibility, because this needs to be accessible. So you got to put like a double gang box, cut the back off with a recip, or a metal mud ring double gang, screw it here and here, and then it just stays open so you can put a blank on it, something like that. I think some of my biggest recommendations here would be to get rid of this stupidity. Put a box on this side and not have a joint in the attic. It looks like they might be missing their garage door opener there. So they might need to put that in before they put the sheetrock on. Just a couple of things. The biggest thing that we noticed is just, we already knew how the job was going to go, was when we saw these boxes mounted in the side of the sheathing in a diagonal angle to hold these boxes. We give it about let's say about 85, maybe an 80 out of 100. Because you got some pretty big items here that are just unforgivable. And I do want to know what size SCR that is, so can we turn on our light? We can. It's too hot. It says too hot right there. Nail guards. Nail guards throughout. Nail guard there hard. That's definitely a nail guard required. Not a fan of the way some of the joints are made. Looks like we got some under cabinet receptacles here too. Cabinet lights, under cabinet lights. I would require boxes. They almost never make these. I don't know why. They know that we want to have them pigtailed. They never make them up. They always just don't. That's unsupported cable. I would have them strap that there. That's unsupported cable. I'd have them strap that there. Always look up on my way out because it's just overwhelming with everything. So I always kind of do like a once over last. You can see the unsupported cable there. Again, no boxes for the lights. It's whatever. Just depends on what you guys like to see. I like to see boxes. Guarantees less stupidity in the future. This is just dumb, dude. Don't do that. Don't do that. They don't even have a nail guard on anything. Like nothing. Nothing has a nail guard on it. It definitely fails. This would be an unlisted members only video, so I can show my buddy sooner. They're attaching the boxes through the sheathing with screws diagonally. Don't let them do this crap, man. They make a box, have them pull this out, get the proper box with the flat ears here, and have them redo it. Get the ones with the cut-ins. Get some 2x4s on the back side of this so they can nail into the side of the 2x4s. Don't do this crap. They did it everywhere and the screws aren't really holding. I'll show you. So there's an example of why you don't want to do that. That screw's not going to hold for very long. When you enter a bedroom within 6 feet, you should have a receptacle. That is way too far away. Add a plug right here. This is where your orientation is. Add a plug within 6 feet when you enter this room. Based on what I've seen so far, these guys are going to cheat every chance they get. I'd have them put a connector on every one of these so they have no choice but to use the connector when the proper box gets there, or they need to install the driver for the LED. These bathrooms got to have a separate plug. Like the plug has to be on the bathroom circuit by itself, or all your bathroom plugs can be all together on one circuit. But that's not what I'm seeing here. So we've got a plug here, jumps up here, jumps in this box, jumps in this box. We've got a bunch of switch legs. All the blacks are tied together, which means these are all constant hot and not separate circuits. So if we had two different wire nuts here, I would know, hey, maybe they got two separate circuits. That doesn't look like the case. They need to install a separate circuit for the bathrooms. They really butchered this one, man. There's electricians and there's butchers. That's pretty bad. We don't allow more than 3. No more than 3 Romex per hole. They got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. There. Pretty bad. It's up to you. It's pretty nitpicky, but the code's the code. That's up to you. It'll probably, I mean, it'll last, you know. It's not anything really proven wrong about it, but there's a code for a reason. We wouldn't allow it. The box makeup is pretty bad just about everywhere. That joint is actually acceptable. That's an acceptable joint. You got some joints here that are kind of troublesome. Can't get the wire nut back on here. Not great. This one right here, that's pretty bad, dude. The wires just rolled on top of each other. They're not really intertwisted. You just got rolls, and you probably get air gaps in there. That might even arc. They need to watch out for their joints. Use a bigger wire nut, things like that. A lot of wires in that box too. Probably okay per code, but a lot of wires. Looks like you got 3 circuits for your island. This is pretty good. Dishwasher and disposal circuit can be on one circuit by itself, and then you got your plugs. Might have a microwave. You got a lot of things going on. They probably have 2 circuits, one for your dishwasher, one for your disposal. That's fine. They can do that. Now's the time. I don't know what code cycle you're on, dude. You might want to install your boxes like in the actual, you know, cut it out with a multi-tool. Get your plug facing outward for your countertop plugs, if that's what you want to do. Or there's got to be a future provision, or there's got to be a pop-up. So if this is for a pop-up, cool, come out of here, feed your pop-up, whatever you're going to do. But all your, like, it needs to be done. So whatever you're going to do, make sure that you get it done. But this is acceptable. I would like to see a separate box specifically for the future island receptacle in a separate deal. That way, when this closes up and it turns into whatever it's going to do, a plug for the disposal, you don't have a plug and all this other crap that you're trying to take apart while you're trying to get to that one circuit. It should be all by itself, nice and easy to access. This one here isn't really a code. It's not a good idea, man. It's up to you. Again, got the junction box way up there for whatever reason. They could have put it down here and left it accessible on the garage side. They could have just done a little 90, little box, brought the Romex down, and could have had your accessible joints there. That's up to you guys. But I wouldn't want that in my attic on the back side of my AC, in between my flue pipe, or not flue pipe, vent pipe. Yeah, just interesting. Back in this room, you might want to watch the plug spacing. If you want to put like a little dresser or something, like a taller chest here, and you're in the corner, say you wanted a TV there or whatever you're doing, you're not going to be able to plug it in because your plug is way over there. So per code, 6 feet max. If it was me, especially when the furniture is more usable in certain locations and you're doing a custom style kind of house, I would have them add another receptacle down there so it can be behind the cabinet and then things can plug in. That's just me. I was pretty impressed to see a receptacle here. So all in all, it's okay. Again, 6 feet, but this is a walkway, so it's not that big of a deal. It's up to you. And then this one too, man. It's a walkway, so you're not really going to be using it, but the code is the code, so you're still too far away from the door. They got a lot of unsupported Romex just kind of chilling everywhere. Staple it up so it's not drooping down. Sheetrockers are going to damage that. It's just not good craftsmanship. And over here we got some 14 that's kind of drooping across there. That's not good. In the master bathroom here, I don't see any receptacles for your sinks. Like, there's none. So we got this thing. If we look at the labeling, we got a vanity, probably a vanity light, and then we got a Tina. I don't know what that is. A boo it. I don't know. You got the shower and then you got the fan. I don't know what that said, but you don't have any plugs, so get them. Get plugs. No plugs for the sink. Get the plugs installed. Separate circuit with nothing else. Like all the bathrooms can be on one circuit. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can do it. But don't put them with anything else. No lights, no nothing else. Just all by themselves. And then they didn't bond this. They did bond this box. They didn't bond this box. This box here, not bonded. And I checked behind your plumbing. They didn't pierce it. There's no damage to it. So that was nice. Panel's pretty terrible, man. You got no connectors. You don't have any connectors, actually. These are all bushings. Pretty nitpicky. You got 5 in this hole with no freaking bushing. Yeah. You got 2-aught SCR copper. That's rated for 200. So, yeah, these are just bushings, so they don't actually grab the wire. And you can see where this wire is starting to get like chafed. That's the least of your worries. That's not that bad, but just think about now and versus 40 years later. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not good. They got to remove this bonding screw right here. There's a sub panel. Bonding screw's got to get removed. Need to put a double gang box here with no back. That way we can access this for later. If it was me, I would make sure that gets done. Like, really, because they're gonna bury it. Take a picture of this location too. The strap is interesting on the SCR, but it's fine. They don't have any nail guards anywhere. So anywhere where you got 1.25 inches within the wire, going like this way, gotta have nail plates to prevent nails. Definitely a full nail plate across both sides there. It's just something you definitely need to have them do. I looked really hard for pinched wires. Do yourself a favor and look really hard yourself. You can see where that wood is taller and the wire is able to go underneath safely. I didn't see anything pinched throughout. Just make sure nothing gets added and pinched, especially if they're gonna run some more stuff after you're done here. Picky, but they're gonna strap this once and then this is gonna, like, for the rest of its life. Whatever. I would have ran it down, tied it to the line set, and came back up, but it's probably fine. Let me get my screwdriver here. In your main disconnect, they did not use a bonding bush, and they need to attach number 4. And they're probably going to need another ground block that's properly bonded. Or maybe they can run this wire underneath of the lug for the bonding bushing, but we need a bonding bushing on this nipple. Everything else is acceptable. I usually like my grounding electrodes to be directly connected to my neutral. Could run a jumper. I can explain that if you want me to, but it's kind of nitpicky. Got 2-aught wire, so we're good here. Need to install lug covers to protect the line side there. Ground rods are actually legit. Got some legit rods there. They actually drove them. Now, I'm here alone. I'm not going to climb this ladder, but you don't want any Romex on your decking, like at all. Like no Romex on your decking at all. 0. So don't let them do it. Check your final. I'll probably do your final too. You got hanging wire here too. They got to strap that up. Put some more boards up there to support it. Like whatever, man. But don't let them just leave that like that. Again, I would put connectors on all of your things or install the drivers. These are just going to be those little insert lights. Not that big of a deal, but these guys, man, they might not use connectors based on what I'm seeing. Looks like all your boxes were bonded except for that one. I checked all of them. So I think this is the only one that wasn't bonded. So I know you're curious about insulation. My biggest recommendations before you do insulation would be fix these boxes that are not secure. Probably this is what I was talking about. You could install a stud right here and then just like dead a T here, almost make it like a cripple, and then get the proper box and nail it in. Or just get the proper box like a cut-in that looks like this. See, that's a cut-in box with the ears. So we got this stabilizer on the back that tightens, and then you got the flat there. So you could possibly just run screws through and through. And on regular boxes, I don't know what you want to do, but long term, man, that's not for new construction. I'm gonna sand this piece of cardboard up to protect your panel so it looks less like a panel from the street. And then you really want to get your plugs for your bathrooms. And that's not even necessarily for your wall. It'll make it easier, but a lot of that is more attic. But you really want to fix your exterior plugs before you insulate. And you're definitely going to want the nail guards kind of throughout. Just check everywhere. 1.25 inches this way. This is okay on this side. But some others are not okay. And it's not from where the wire is, it's from where the hole is. So if you got a big hole and then you just got one wire over here, the hole is still big enough for the wire to reach. Need a nail guard. And then just look for dangling wires throughout. Everything else looks okay.